Is we live? Is we live? Is we live? Yes, you're now tuned into the Rare Podcast. And of course, I am your host of the most, NK, aka the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour. But we cannot do Rare Podcasts alone. We have a very, very special guest in the building. So without further ado, I'm going to let her introduce herself. Tell the people who you are and what you got going on.
Where am I looking? I didn't even think about this. This one. Okay.
That one.
My name's Shekinah and I just started making content this year, but it's all about film and TV and nerdy stuff. So thank you for having me here.
No, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. I'm loving to see black UK creators make film and TV content. I feel like for a long period of time we've had to look to like the Americans. I big up the Americans, you know, like big up Fantastic Frankie, big up Stuart Goof, big up all of them, man. But it's nice to have content creators from home.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And just be like, oh my God, my peoples. And like honestly, like I discovered your TikTok like maybe like a month or two ago, and honestly, like I love what you're doing, man. I love your content as well, man.
I'm humbled.
Nah, man. So like, I thought, yeah, I have to have you on the show. Like, we got to chop it up, man. We got to chop it up. And speaking of film and TV, I like to do a little segment called Rare Moment of the Week, where I like to spotlight creatives that I feel deserve accolades, deserve attention. I want to big up the other content creators in the film and TV space, especially on TikTok. Big up Post Credit Scene Podcast, big up Small Time Critics, big up Ken Reviews, and also big up Shekinah. She's right here, right now. You know, yeah, man, all the black film and TV content creators in the UK added to the ecosystem, man. We appreciate you guys, man. But before we get into the main topic, I want to play a little game of this or that. This or that is very simple. I give you two options and you have to pick between this or that. So without further ado, let's get it popping. First off, film or TV? Quick fire, first one that comes to your head.
Oh no, TV.
My Wife and Kids or Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Gotham or Metropolis?
Metropolis.
Baratheon or Tyrell?
Baratheon. No, Tyrell. Sorry.
Plantain or Puff Puff?
Puff Puff.
Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon?
Game of Thrones.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. But let's talk. The main topic we're here to discuss today is house. In fact, screw all that. How rude of me. How did you get into content creation? Tell the people your origin story.
I don't really have one. Like, I think my friend's been like pestering me to do it for a while. And I was like, yeah, no, maybe, I'm not sure. And it wasn't until this year my boyfriend was like, if you don't do it, like, I was like, okay, fine. So I started in like February. Sick. And yeah, I guess I just started off talking about Marvel and DC, but then I expanded obviously because I like watch like all like nerdy like stuff like that. So I just branched out and said, yeah, you know what, let me do it. So that's where I'm at right now.
What was the TV show, the first TV show where you said, no, like I'm locked in, I must finish this TV show? In fact, what's the first TV show you binged?
I binged.
You binged.
I'm trying to think about when Netflix was like proper at its peak and everyone was like, Netflix. I can't think of the first TV show that I binged. I think, no, you know what? I think it might have been The Office, the first TV show that I binged. This was like 5 years ago. No. 6 years ago almost. I just binged all of it and I was like, I love this show. And then I think I was watching other shows like simultaneously, but that was the first show that I sat. I was like, I'm watching everything in one go. But yeah.
I think the first show I binged, I technically binged before Netflix, but this is when so we just got the Skybox in our house, and that was a big thing for me. That's a big thing for Elbow. So so obviously I used to love Friends, right? So I just said, and the record button was the feature. So I just recorded every time Friends on TV, recorded everything. Came back and just watched every episode back to back. But the first thing I binged on Netflix was probably Narcos.
When
Narcos came out. Listen, when it comes to like, I've got a soft spot for my drug shows. Okay. I've got a soft spot for them like Narcos, Snowfall, Power today. I don't really like Power, but
you don't like Power.
No, I finished Power Up.
Yeah.
I'm not watching that. The only one that I'm intrigued about watching is Raising Kanan.
I mean, I haven't seen the others. I'm like Power only, and I haven't branched out into the other ones.
I like Power.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's like good TV, not phenomenal TV.
Fine.
But Power's fun. But yeah, I love all of them type of shows.
Yeah.
But Narcos was the first show I binged. As soon as I heard that intro, I wanted to learn Spanish.
Did you learn Spanish?
No. I just know all the bad words.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, all the cuss words. Mal parida, mal paridos.
What does that mean?
Motherfucker.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Anytime Pablo was cussing someone out, that
Taking notes.
registered.
Okay, let me write down.
Let me write it down. Let me write it down, man. But yeah, let's get into the main event, man.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about before House of the Dragon came out. Obviously, Game of Thrones came off of season 8, which was a highly controversial season to say the least. And they announced House of the Dragon. When you heard they were doing a spin-off, how did you feel about it, given the fact that we just came from season 8?
I think I was kind of like knowing how badly it ended. I was like, I'm not sure about it.
Yeah.
Then I had like a slight moment of optimism where I was like, okay, you know what? It's a different director. It's a different like writer.
Sure.
So I was thinking, okay, maybe it'll be nice. But at the same time, I was like, do I want to see a really good story knowing that it ends so badly with Game of Thrones? So I was definitely apprehensive. What about you? What did you...
Yeah, I can't lie. After season 8, I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything else. Like, I was really like negative on the I was really like negative on like the whole A Song of Ice and Fire universe, especially because it was a prequel. I was like, listen, like you said, you're building up all of this. You're setting up this ancestry for what? Brandon the Broken to be on the throne. Like what are we doing here?
Yeah.
So I don't know what made me come around. Maybe it was the trailers looked good. Some of the castings looked good. And I was like, oh, Matt Smith. Okay. And just seeing, I think the selling point was, okay, what was Westeros like with dragons about?
Yeah.
I think that was the hook where it was like, okay, do you know what? This is an interesting premise. Let me see if it lands. And then season 1, episode 1, I was hooked.
Yeah.
For me, when it came to Game of Thrones, it took me a while to get into Game of Thrones.
Really? When did you first start watching it? I'm into being you.
So, yeah,
I'm into being you.
Yeah, no, so Game of Thrones, so I was watching in real time with everyone else.
Yeah.
Season 4 was the first season I watched with everyone else.
Okay.
So I was playing catch up in between season 3 and season 4.
Yeah.
But the episode, because I've watched episode 1 like 4 times.
Yeah.
Because I tried to get into it 3 times.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't moving me. I just wasn't prepared. And then...
You're telling me it's not episode 1 that Jamie pushed, ran out the window?
See,
and that didn't hook you?
No, see, that hooked me. I never made it to that point.
Okay.
Every time I tried to episode 1, I was like, okay, cool. It's when Jamie pushed Bran, and I was like, your sister.
Yeah.
Which is so funny how it's been conditioned, because now in House of the Dragon, we see incest. We're like, oh,
it's quite scary. Why are we normalizing that?
Like,
no.
Like, yeah, you should marry your cousin. It's good for the throne.
Nasty work.
You've been programmed. But yeah, after that, it was like, okay, this show's cooking. And everyone talks about, obviously, Ned dying in the end of season 1. But for me, it's when Jamie and Ned started fighting.
Yeah.
And Littlefinger betrays Ned. And he's like,
yeah.
I told you not to trust me. I was like, hold on, what's going on here? And then, yeah, after season 1.
Yeah, you were in.
I was involved.
Yeah.
I was involved.
Fine.
Yeah.
Interesting. I think I started watching in 2014, but I'm not sure what season that would have been that I joined.
Okay.
Is that like season 3?
That might have been season 3,
3 or 4. I think season 3 or 4. So that's when I jumped. My friend she'd been shouting for ages, like, what is this show you're talking about? And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I get it now. So I've been locked in since then. I think we were all thoroughly disappointed with how it ended. Like, imagine waiting, a year between seasons. And I think the last season was 2 years wait.
2 years wait.
You gave us a shorter season and it was rushed. And...
because these man wanted to make Star Wars.
And they didn't even get to make the movie in the end. Because of that.
Because of that, I feel season 8 is just like, I remember I was in uni when season 8 came out. Like, me and my flatmates, for the season premiere, season 8, we literally all went into like the living room, all sat down together, we watched it. And obviously throughout uni, I remember the episode where Daenerys burnt down King's Landing.
Yeah.
My boy texted me, he's like, have you seen the latest episode? I was like, nah. he just bought, it's gonna piss you off.
Oh dear.
I was like, okay, probably a character that started mad, because at that point, I was on thin ice because the battle at Winterfell, I couldn't see anything.
And also, sorry, I think it should have been longer. I think it should have spanned across like 2 episodes. In my mind, it should have been that the Night King fully took over Winterfell and these lot are like fleeing and they have to leave, like, and it's spanning across, and I just, 1 episode and it was dark. Yeah, it wasn't given for me.
And we spent 8 seasons.
Yeah.
Literally, from episode 1, building up these men for them to be vanquished in episode 1.
It was too easy. It was way too easy.
It was way too easy.
Yeah.
Battle with the Bastard was more.
But that was more intense.
That was more intense
more
than
intense.
the White Walkers. But yeah, I was already on thin ass. But then obviously seeing Daenerys, I'm not mad at her becoming the Mad Queen, even though I don't think that was what was intended.
Yeah.
But first, 2 episodes.
Yeah.
And then the way they just deaded off, they just started deading off all her dragons.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, nah. We're rushing through this. Season 8 is I don't want to go to a whole rant about season 8. We're not here for that.
We're not here for that.
We're not here for that. So, how did you find season 1 of House of the Dragon?
I found the pacing was, at first I was like, it's a bit slow, but then I was like, we're introducing new characters. We have to get to know them. We have to understand them, who they are as people. So I was like, I took back my like, oh, why is the pacing so slow? I think it was fine.
Yeah.
I think we got a good intro to all the characters, and I think they led up very, very well to the end with the war. And because I never read the books, and I don't think I'll ever read the Game of Thrones books, I think it was fine, based on my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But some people might not have felt that the season was good. But I really love season 1, and I think it did a good job at setting the scene for what was to come.
Yeah, season 1 for me was a mixed bag. I felt the time, because with Game of Thrones, I was so used to Game of Thrones being very slow. For example, like you'd spend like a month in King's Landing.
True.
Where this, it was like, okay, we got young Rhaenyra, okay, we got older Rhaenyra, we got older Alicent Rhaenyra with kids.
You don't think that there was it was an episode to episode, or was it halfway through an episode?
No, it's episode to episode.
Yeah.
But it was just like the whole season was like, oh my God, we're covering literally like, essentially like what, 20 years?
Do you think it would have been better if they had a longer season, like maybe 10 for the younger half than 10 for the older half? Or...
Maybe not, because I don't read the books either, but I know like the books aren't as detailed as like the Song of Ice and Fire books, because it's like it's someone, the way the books are structured, is someone's
account,
someone's account, rather than like these characters actually living out their lives.
Yeah.
So maybe if there's not enough content, then don't do it. Don't stretch out a
something that isn't there. Yeah.
Don't do a Harrenhal. But
we'll talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. But I guess for me, it was kind of adjusting to, this isn't Game of Thrones in the sense where you get to like marinate with these characters for a long period of time. It's more like, okay, we're very much trying to progress the story forward. Especially, I feel like to the end, like Alicent and Rhaenyra were done expertly well, but I felt like characters like Aegon, Aemon, Lucerys, Jacaerys, like we didn't get enough time.
They were aged up quite quickly. You're not wrong. I just remember they were aged up quite quickly, so it was quite harsh to just see that over the span of episodes. Yeah, because
like especially like Aegon and Aemon were maybe like little kids for like 1 or 2 episodes, and then next episode, Aegon's like tall. I'm like, rotted.
Side note, I think they casted Aegon and Aemon wrong. The kid that played Aegon looked like a younger Aemon, and then the other way around. So it was quite jarring actually to see.
Like the young Aegon and old Aegon looked like only like a year or 2 apart. Like young Aemon looks young. Young Aegon, like obviously young Aegon looks older than young Aemon, innit? So it makes sense. But like when they aged these characters up, I was like,
it was quite confusing.
Yeah, it was like, okay, what's going on? Like Jacaerys, I don't even remember what young Jacaerys and Lucerys look like.
No, I can't. I can't.
Okay, I remember. Yeah, I don't remember what they look like. Yeah, because even technically, isn't Aemon younger than Jacaerys and Lucerys?
No.
No. He's older. He's younger than Aegon. Anyway, I don't know how old these characters are. I think he's younger. He's definitely young. He's younger than Aegon. Don't know if he's younger than Jacaerys though.
I don't think he's younger.
I think he's older than Lucerys, obviously. But yeah. But anyways, I don't think we spent enough time with those with the younger lot, but like the relationship between Rhaenyra and Alicent was amazing. And I can't lie, I'm low key, in season 1, I sympathized with Alicent. I didn't like her.
No, I didn't. Sorry.
Hear her.
So you're not a girl's girl. Sorry, you're not a girl's girl. No.
But can you okay? No, she's not a girl's girl. But can you understand why she's bitter?
I can, but that's your childhood bestie. Like, you don't have anyone else but that friend.
Yeah.
So your friend makes a mistake. You're supposed to be like, oh, you know what, I made a mistake, but like, I love you regardless. But I feel like it just went left from there.
From Alicent's perspective, it's like, listen, I was forced to marry your father.
Yes.
Right? One.
Very peak, but
Very peak. And I'm forced to be popping out children. When Rhaenyra is out here literally choosing her husband, going on side missions with Kristen Cole, doing madness with her uncle.
Yeah.
She's bitter, she's jealous.
Yeah.
It's jealousy.
Yeah.
And obviously jealousy is wrong, but I understand why she's jealous.
Yeah.
Then the thing of where Alicent loses me is now she's created an agenda in her head about, oh my God, they will kill you.
Yeah.
They will, when they've given you no reason to believe that. And obviously that came from Otto Hightower, who was manipulating her.
Yeah.
But Alicent's bitterness towards Rhaenyra is basically like, you're living the life I want. You're living the life I want. Or you have choice. You're someone who has unlimited choices.
Yeah.
But with these choices, you're even choosing to raise bastards. You know what I'm saying? You're choosing to... And that's the thing with... And that's why I like Rhaenyra.
Yeah.
But the Harwin Strong shit pissed me off. It pissed me off.
She couldn't have kids with my man though. What's his name? Laenor. She couldn't have kids with Laenor.
I hear you. I hear you. You can't have kids with Laenor, yeah. But it's like you're playing in front of people's faces.
Yes, but also I think that we also should have at least seen how they got together. Like just suddenly, you know, we just have the babies and it's all, you know.
There was one, it was very brief. There was 2 scenes that they had in season 1. There's a scene where I think it was an episode where there was like a big hunting festival. Yeah. Rhaenyra just comes back, she's bloody. Yeah. And Harwin Strong's like like gutting fish and he's looking at her like, oh my God, who's that? Yeah. And obviously there's the scene at the wedding where like I think this is where Christian Cole kills Sir Laenor's lover. Yeah. And then there's like a big brawl and Harwin Strong like grabs Rhaenyra and takes her away. Yeah. So we do see them interact a little bit, but yeah, maybe we would have had
it's not enough for a love story because you can tell that they loved each other.
Yeah, for sure.
Before he died, but it's just like you at least wanted to like know how they got there because we got nonsense in season 2 with wasting time and showing us things we don't need to see.
Them Harwin Strong genetics are strong.
Yep.
Because literally, because Alicent's a Hightower and Viserys is obviously a Targaryen. So it's the same thing. Half one side Targaryen, one side one Targaryen. But all their children came out of white hair, but you, blackety black hair.
Black hair.
And I also think this is one of the instances where I think race swapping adds to the story. Because I think the Valarians being black adds another layer to the storyline where it adds like a literal another visual layer. It's like, like these children are bastards.
They are bastards.
They are bastards.
Because at least they should look like a little bit of chocolate.
There should be melanin in there. And
there
I feel
should
like
be small in there, but
that was very smart casting to like have the Valarians be black because it's like, one, it's representation, but 2, it actually serves the story as well.
Yeah, that's smart. I agree.
Yeah. So season 2, what would you say is your favorite episode from season 2? You don't have to give me the actual name of the episode.
I don't remember the names. I think it's like a mixture. It's like half of the episode with the battle where Rhaenys and Meleys both die. That was a
Rook's
really...
Rest. I think that was episode, 6?
Was it 6?
I think so. Let continue.
Yeah, so it was that episode, half of that episode with the battle, and then the other part was, I think it was episode 7, the second half when Rhaenyra had got Ulf and Hugh to be the Dragon Riders, and Ulf accidentally flies all the way to King's Landing, and then Aemon chases him on the dragon and gets to Dragonstone and then sees all 3 dragons, and Rhaenyra just there like, they want to fight, here's the real fight. I loved those 2 episodes. What about you?
Yeah, my favorite episode. So that was episode 5. Yeah, episode 5. Yeah, the battle at Rook's Rest. I think that for me, just seeing Vhagar, Meleys, Sunfire clash it out. Yeah, that episode is amazing. And then the episode where I think it's I don't know if it's the same episode or the episode. No, it's the same episode where that episode is amazing because I think I love the scene where my favorite scene in the whole series is where Aemon speaks High Valyrian to Aegon.
And Egon's like, sorry, I didn't take this lesson. I don't know what you're saying.
That's my favorite, like one of my favorite scenes in the episode. And obviously another episode that I really loved was obviously the second to last episode where you see Thermophor, where you see Silverwing being claimed by Ulf and Hugh. By Ulf and Hugh. Those two are like the standout episodes.
Yeah.
Who are your favorite characters throughout the season?
My favorite characters this season.
Yeah, this season. Or characters you found a new appreciation for. Because you know what character? I think this season gave me a lot more insight into Team Green. Because I think in season 1, I mean, they're evil.
Yeah.
They're evil.
Yeah.
But especially a character like Aegon, I pitied him a lot.
You did?
I didn't feel sorry for him,
I just find him irritating. Start to finish.
Really?
Start to finish.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Like, I feel like he's given us so many reasons to not like him. He's just pompous. He was messing around and injuring all the house staff, and they had to like get some of them out of that. Like, he's a menace.
Sure.
He's a menace.
He's a horrible
person. I have
person.
There's nothing in me that can say, okay, I have softness. There's no softness there. I just don't like him.
I think with Aegon, I don't think it's necessarily a redeeming quality. It's like, oh my God, you're really pathetic.
Okay,
and it's like, but you're pathetic because you were always told, oh, hey, you're gonna be king one day, but you were never taught
how to be.
Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it is your fault because at the end of the day, you're out here literally, you know, he's got bastards in the fighting pits.
Yeah.
You know, like he's essaying women.
Yeah.
Like Aegon is a horrible character, but I think he's just somebody who I don't even think he wants the throne.
Oh, no, I don't think so.
He doesn't want the throne, but he's been pushed into this position
100%.
by his mother,
100%.
by his grandfather,
100%.
and now he's playing catch up.
Yeah.
And that's why I found the relationship between him and Aemon so fascinating because Aemon is somebody who wants it bad.
That's kind of like, what's the name of that? Is it the Second Son prophecy? With how Daemon is also the second son and he wanted the throne, but Viserys got it. So there's that similarity between Daemon and Aemon as well. So,
but I think Viserys was actually like a good king.
He was a good king.
I think Viserys had somebody directly to look up to.
That's true.
Directly to look up to. Where with Aegon, because we can say this as a critique of Viserys. Viserys didn't, from what we see, he didn't give a damn about his Hightower kids.
Nah.
It was all Rhaenyra, like that.
That's his firstborn, no?
Yeah, firstborn daughter. And I think maybe you can put a little bit of blame, just a little bit of blame on Viserys in terms of he didn't create an environment where I think all of the kids felt welcome.
That's true. I agree.
I think the underlying tension was bred under his watch, but at the same time he was literally dying.
That's true.
So yeah.
It is true. I have to give them some grace, maybe.
Give them some grace.
Small grace, but I think they wrote the season that way for us to have a bit more sympathy for the Hightowers. It didn't work on me, but I think that's what they did it for, like to make us see them in a bit more of a human light.
I think they definitely made the Hightowers a bit more sympathetic, and that's why for the beginning part of the season, I wasn't interested in Team Black. I felt Team Black was just like, okay, you're the good guys, and
really,
I felt outside of Daemon, it was like you guys are good guys in the storyline, but you're not interesting. That's why I loved, even though I hate, like I don't like Jace, I love like, okay, now we're starting to see the darker sides of these characters. Because the thing I loved about the Song of Ice and Fire universe, with Game of Thrones universe, is that no one was, aside from certain characters like maybe Jon and then maybe, but no one was really truly good.
Yeah.
There was always shades of grey.
Yeah.
And I feel like with Team Black, outside of Daemon, everyone was just painted in this, hey, we're the good guys, us.
Yeah.
But in this season, like, we're gonna get into like a lot more moral complexity. Like, for example, we can skip around episodes.
Yeah.
But the episode where Rhaenyra is basically sending the small folk to claim the dragons.
Yeah.
That shit was low-key evil.
Of course it was. 100%.
And she was
But she
low-key
just
evil.
needed what she needed. Like, but I feel like I needed to see more of that.
Yes.
After season 1 ended, you see her turn to the camera with that anger. The anger needs to carry, and I don't think the anger carried the whole way through. I think there was moments when they made her look so dumb. She's a smart woman, but there was moments where she's like, okay, I don't want to kill people, but then also didn't give any other options. It's like, she's smarter than that. She would know that there's other options around. I genuinely wanted her to be angry the whole way through. I wanted her to take all the crazy ways. I wanted to do all the mad things to avenge her son, but we definitely didn't get that.
Yeah, it's
we
like,
definitely
do
didn't
you
get
know,
that.
I'm like, shout out to Emma Darcy. Their performance was amazing.
Yeah.
But there was so many scenes where Emma Darcy, Rhaenyra would turn to the camera and you see that face. And
Yeah.
like, it's go time.
But then it drops.
And it dropped. Next episode's like, but we don't want to kill the innocents.
It's just
and
like, be consistent. Like,
my friend.
be consistent. I kind of wanted like Cersei level cunning. Like, you're so smart and you're just doing evil things because you can do the evil things, as opposed to like stepping and tiptoeing around what you actually want to do. But
yeah. So there's been a critique about this season. This comes from book readers. I don't
Yeah.
read the book, but
Yeah.
they said like the way Rhaenyra and Alicent have been like too hesitant,
Mm-hmm.
where they would like them, especially after scenes where like something mad will happen to Rhaenyra or something
Mm-hmm.
mad happen to Alicent. They'd like them to be more proactive in the story.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a valid criticism, or do you think that, you know what, they can't be proactive because the story's trying to showcase that women in society don't have agency over themselves?
I want women to move mad.
Yeah.
I want women to move mad. So
And I feel like because it's obviously a different society and we're dealing with different things, but
course.
especially seeing a character like not even just Cersei, but a Marjorie
Yeah,
Tyrell
yeah.
in Game of Thrones, the way she was cunning, she
Yeah,
manipulated the situation.
yeah.
I'd like to see that more from
Yeah.
the women characters in the show, because
Yeah.
as much as, yes, the story's 100% about patriarchy, and that's
Yeah.
like, but at the same time, it felt like, oh my God, Alicent, Rhaenyra, we don't want to do this.
Yeah.
It's our mad sons,
Yeah.
husbands,
that's
fathers,
exactly
and it's
what it was
like,
given.
especially for a character like Alicent, for me, I was hit and miss with Alicent's development this season, because
Yeah.
it's like, I understand she's hesitant to
Mm-hmm.
go into war, but at the same time, she was the same character in season 1 preaching that they're gonna kill you.
Exactly.
Like, her sons
Be
are
consistent.
be that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for me, there was a little bit frustrating, especially on Team Black side, where it's like, yeah, we didn't see that dark side to them. That's why I love that episode with the dragons, because Rhaenyra's a cult leader.
Yeah.
The way she came is like, you know what? It's an honor to be with these dragons. Some of you will die.
Yeah.
But it is an honor. I'm like, this is a cult.
This is a, but then people see dragons as gods. So
Facts.
she knew that saying that would make them feel like, okay, you know what, I'm doing it because I'm serving like a master
Yeah.
in that way. So I don't think they minded that they were gonna die. I just think it was
What
cool
other-
either way, but it was cool.
What
so
other choice do the small folk have?
they didn't have.
These guys are starving. It's like it's the ultimate lottery ticket
Yeah.
for them. It's like, I die, cool. I win, I get to ride a dragon. I get to be a part of nobility. You saw
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
how Ulf was acting the episode.
He's an idiot.
later. I
He's
was
an
like,
idiot.
I want the birds.
He's
eating
idiot.
good food.
He's an idiot.
You know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
he's finally at the station in life he wants to be, but he's forgotten that where he was before. So calling people who you were once, like you were small folk once, but
Yes.
now like trying to degrade them is
Yes.
not the serve he thinks it is. It isn't.
Let's talk about Jace.
All right, go on.
Jace, how Jace's main arc towards the latter half of the season was him struggling with his identity.
Yeah.
Obviously, now that it's shown that anyone with Targaryen blood, well, somebody with Targaryen blood has the potential to
ride
claim a
dragon.
dragon.
Yeah.
Jace now feels more insecure about his
Yeah.
lineage, because he knows he's a bastard.
Yeah.
And now his like one claim to fame of being a Targaryen and claiming a dragon
Yeah.
has now been sullied.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Jace's reaction to like this revelation now?
First of all, in that episode, what was the episode where they were claiming it? I can't. Maybe it was it 7? I think it was episode 7.
Yeah.
He was wearing a red MAGA hat because he was like, "Oh, you guys are, what did he call them? Mongrels." I was like,
Mongrels.
"Just say the N-word. Is that what you want to say? Just say the N-word. You don't want black people to ride dragons? What are you saying?" But no, in all seriousness, I think he has
Make
a
Westeros
valid
great again.
Exactly. I think he has valid like insecurities. Like, oh my gosh, this is my only claim to, you know, a red dragon is my blood.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, I think Rhaenyra was also trying to, I think there was an episode trying to reassure him that like our strength is the fact that we like people who aren't necessarily people who are seen as kings and queens can be the kings and queens like in that way. But I think he's valid, but also there's a war going on. No one has time for feelings. Like we have to skip over the feelings. There's genuinely a war going on. So it's just grow.
One thing I do love about House of the Dragon this season is that the attention on the small folk. I feel like in Game of Thrones, because there were so many different houses, we didn't get to spend as much time with the small folk as we do like in this season of House of the Dragon. Yeah. And I love seeing like, at the end of the day, this is a battle between kings and queens, but like the people, the small folk are always affected, and just seeing like how the war is affecting them in terms of they're not getting access to food because Corliss is blocking shipments and stuff like that. Just seeing their perspective on things was super interesting. But yeah, with Jace, it's again, this is why I go back to my earlier point of obviously Rhaenyra's character is all about making her own decisions. Yeah. And she wanted to live her best life. Like, so in a sense where, okay, I'm going to have children with Harwin Strong because it's the person I truly love. But then the consequences, these are the consequences. You've bred children that are quite literally bastards. Yeah. Right? And the effect that has on Jace, the effect of like, I remember the scene in season 1 where Aemon's calling them strong boys. Yeah. Where Vaemond, Corliss's brother, literally calls them bastards. Yep. And now the only thing that gave Jace legitimacy was, hey, you can't say I'm not a real Targaryen because I can ride a dragon. Yeah. But now you've got these mongrels. mongrels. Someone like, in the case of someone like Adam. Yeah. He hasn't got the silver hair. Yeah. He's riding the dragon too. Yeah. What makes him different from me? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're bastards too. Yeah. What makes them any different from me? But I think Jace just, I don't know how they could have prepared for this, but I get how Jace feels. Yeah. It's ignorant. Yeah. And at the end of the day, no matter what anybody says, no one can take your birthright away from you. Yeah. But for him, it's like he looks at his cousins, technically, his cousins, his uncles. In Aemond and Aegon. No one has to ask them if they're Targaryens or not. They're usurpers, but it's clear. They have the look. They have the look. Their lineage is clear. But with Jace, it's like you have to question it. We were literally in court last season. Yeah. Because Lucerys wanted to be the heir of Driftmark, and there was a whole commotion. Yeah. But yeah, I thought that rivalry between them is interesting. Yeah. There's a theory online that they think one of the new additions to the family, one of the new small folk, it's a turncoat. It's going to turncoat. Who do you think that would be? If that's the case, I don't know. I don't read the books. Because I do think right now the way it looks, Team Green are outnumbered, and the scales got to flip. Yeah, something's got to happen. Yeah, I don't know. I could see it being off just because he seemed like he could be swayed by money or by a good life. And if the Greens can promise him a good life, he'll be like, okay, cool, let me just quickly change over to the other side. I don't see Hugh doing it because Hugh was promised by the king that he'd get his money, he'd get whatever. So he already feels betrayed. So I don't see him going back to to the people that betrayed him. Yeah. So I think it would be off. I think so. How do you, another character I found massively interested in this season is Otto Hightower. I think another one of my favorite scenes is Otto reacting to Aegon hanging.
He was disgusted. He was like, I'm actually surrounded by idiots.
He's like, it's like when Aegon said, Christian Cole's got a plan.
He's like, who's this man? Who?
I remember if he called their plan a prank or something. I was like, Otto Hightower is somebody. I hated him in season 1, but like he's become like almost like a Tywin Lannister for me.
100%.
He's become like a Tywin Lannister for me, where it's like, Now, I think honestly, if you put Tywin in this situation though, he would have handled it a lot better.
Yes, 100%.
I think Tywin doesn't take as much shit from his kids that Otto does. But yeah, just seeing that Otto's actually a very, very intelligent man. And you can see in season 1, it always looked like he was trying to undermine Viserys. Yeah. You can see in the season he had a lot of respect for Viserys. 100%. And it's that complicated relationship where Otto had mad ambitions, but at the same time, like with Viserys, he knew what boundaries to cross because he trusted Viserys' judgment. Yeah. He rightfully so does not trust Aegon's judgment for shit. And obviously, who do you think has kidnapped him?
Why did you show us 1 second of the kidnapping? So I just remember they showed him in the cage for
Yeah.
1 second. Why did you do that? I would have rather not seen that at all. So we genuinely don't know where this man is because I'm like, okay, go get him. Why would you show us a 2 second clip of him in a cage if you weren't gonna? I know that you have to do things for the sake of the story and elaborate, but because season 1 ended, they're preparing for war. Season 2 ended, they're preparing for war. It feels like nothing moved. So at least you could have given us the explanation as to why he was stuck in that cage. So
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, let's get to that. How did you find this season finale? Because there was a lot of discourse about this wasn't a season finale.
It wasn't.
And people think that this season was not a waste of time, but nothing progressed massively. How do you feel about that?
I agree.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly, I agree. Like, I don't feel like that finale was a finale. People have been saying it feels like it was like an episode 8 in like 10 episode spread. Like, it felt like it ended and I was like, no, this is the end. I was like, did I miss something? Like, ending the episode with the Alicent and Rhaenyra thing just got me so angry because like, how, like, is this really what we're doing with our time left? Of 10 minutes left of the episode, we're spending 5 minutes with these two talking to each other.
I think if they were going to end it early, and it should have ended last episode.
Maybe, yeah. So it's like it ends. I'm like, okay, they have the dragons, they're gonna fight. Leaving it on that note, it's like, okay, let's run away together. That really, really annoyed me. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
I didn't like that.
Yeah, that let's run away together stuff is annoying because you've already had that conversation in the church. And yeah, like I'm not as harsh on I really like this season as a whole, but yeah, that was not a finale to the season at all. I think I'm just done with like 8 episode seasons. Like,
give me real telly back. I want 15 episodes, 20 episodes, like,
or just go back to what Game of Thrones did with 10. Like, I'm happy with 10 No, best of both worlds. If you want to do your 1 hour and 20 episodes, fine, give me 10 of them.
Yeah.
Now, I touched on this earlier. Harrenhal.
Jesus Christ.
Harrenhal should have been 1 episode.
Yes.
Harrenhal should have been 1 just Damon focused episode.
Yeah.
And then where you cut it off at he has the visions, and then do maybe the Oscar Tully stuff in the next episode. Yeah. So to show, okay, this is we're wrapping it up.
Yeah.
So you do the 80% of it in 1 episode, and then maybe wrap it up in
the next episode.
Yeah. This stuff did not need to get spread over. Like after the 3rd Viserys vision, I was like, we get it.
We get it. You want to be king, whatever. Like, okay, like we genuinely get it. I think that was probably the part of the season that I hated the most. Yeah. Just because it dragged on for so long, and I get that it's supposed to be him confronting his demons or whatever, but it's also like, you did it for 3 or 4 episodes. Why did we need it for 3 or 4 episodes? You literally could have wrapped it up in 1 and then moved on with our lives, but it just went on for way too long.
It did. How do you feel about Damon as a character?
I think he's a creep. There's no, like, obviously the whole incest thing is a thing, but genuinely you went after your niece, and from when she was young to like, it's like, that's already an issue. I feel like I said this in a video that I did on my TikTok on how like Matt Smith basically only takes roles where his wife is someone in power, and he really struggles because in The Crown, obviously Queen Elizabeth, and he was really struggling as Prince Philip to understand that he is not the one in command. But the same thing is happening here, where he genuinely, like, the whole thing with like, don't call me king consort, I'm king. It's like, actually you're not, and if you didn't want that to be a reality, you would not have married.
It's again second son syndrome.
Yeah, so I think I'm more frustrated with him as a person. I did like think that in the end of the 8th episode, he gave us like a bit more redemption, like getting the armies and like pledging his loyalty to Rhaenyra. So he is like going up the chart in my book, but I still think he's annoying and he has problems that he needs to work on.
That's why I loved when Oscar Tully humbled him. Oh my guy, Oscar Tully.
He ate him up.
Do you want our help or not? Yes. Yeah. But yeah, Damon's a character I found. I didn't, from the moment I saw Damon, I didn't like him. But especially like, I think when he was at Kingsguard in like not Kingsguard, leader of the City Watch in season 1, he was out here just slaughtering citizens. But I feel like this season was him coming down to earth, because him and Aemond were literally the same person. Yes, like on literally the same trajectory. But this season, his time in Harrenhal like put a lot of things into perspective for him, and it was. I want to say it's redemption, but it was kind of like, okay, like a centering of Damon, where it's like, okay, this is the trajectory I'm on. Yeah, I need to like stop things. But yeah, I just felt like it lasted way too long.
Yeah, 100%.
I loved Alice Rivers. I loved is the whole Alice Rivers thing, is she Helena or not?
I don't know. Is Helena the one that's been haunting the whole time? Did Helena use Alice? I genuinely don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, clarify for us in the comments. Is Alice Rivers Helena, or is it a thing where, because we know Helena's got some foresight, she can see into the future, she's got some mystical abilities, and obviously she appears to Damon. But so is Alice Rivers not a real person, or is it them two kind of working together unintentionally to send us some message?
Maybe.
We don't know.
Maybe.
But yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm known as the Aemond Targaryen defender. That's my guy.
Please don't be a defender, please.
Not a defender.
Please.
I respect him.
Why?
You claimed Vhagar out of 12. I'm so sorry. That's cold. Ow.
Whatever.
That's cold.
Whatever. Fine.
But he's spiraling.
He is spiraling.
He's spiraling. And I think I said this before, but Aemond built his whole image off Daemon.
Yeah.
And Aemon is somebody, if he was the firstborn son, he'd be a great king. And I'll tell you why. Because he's done the work. He said it in season 1. I've read the books. I've studied philosophy. I know how to fight. He's someone who has the willingness to learn.
Yeah.
But underneath that willingness to learn is a massive insecurity.
Yeah.
And because he's insecure, he feels the need to overcompensate and lash out. Because he was never considered.
Yeah.
And the difference between Daemon and Aemond is one thing. They're older brothers. As much as Daemon wanted the throne, as much as he was petulant, he never hated Viserys.
Yeah.
He resented Viserys for being king, but Viserys always looked out for him.
Yeah.
The difference is Aegon's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
Had someone like Aegon put his arm around Aemon and be like, "You're my little brother, I got you,"
Yeah.
I think he would have been a completely different character. Or at least gone in a different direction, because I feel Aemon is consistently trying to prove himself, and that's seen at the brothel.
Yeah.
Where Aegon literally belittles Aemon. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. There was no turning back from that point. I thought, you know what? I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't hear burning him alive.
Because that's what he did. But that is what he did.
I don't hear burning him alive. But that small council scene when you sunned him.
Yeah. Makes sense.
100%. Do it again.
Yeah.
When he burnt him alive, I was like,
that's a bit cruel, isn't it?
It's cruel. It's Aegon.
It is. But that's your brother. He's annoying, but that is your brother.
And also, but I also think as well, him being labelled as a kinslayer got to him. Because obviously we see that scene in the brothel where he's like, oh, like, I do regret that business with Lucerys.
Yeah.
But I think some of it is also him acting up to the character. It's like, people think I'm this monster.
Let me be the monster.
Let me be the monster.
You know what? You're right.
Let me be the monster.
Let me be the monster.
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
And it's like, at this point, anything goes by any means necessary.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm the bad guy, I'm a kinslayer, cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And Aemon is a character who's the reason why I like Aemon, because he's someone, I always like characters that strive to self-improve, but he's doing it in the wrong ways.
Yeah.
But I think he's too far gone at this point.
I think so. But one thing I will give him though is he seems to be the only one that's making the necessary steps to like actually win a war. Like no one else, well obviously Kristen Cole, but like genuinely it seems like he has a great like leadership battle mind. He's like, okay, you know, this is how we're going to do X, Y, Z, this is how it's going to go. It's kind of like, I don't know if you watched this TV show Vikings. This is...
Nah,
no.
But it's on my watch list.
Good show, by the way. What's his name? What was his name? I'm going to forget his name. There's a son who is so like, he's unhinged, but he's got a really good battle mind. And I think they're very, very similar in that way.
I think Aemond is like, should be commander of an army.
Yeah.
Should be on the front lines, commanding. That's where his leadership is. But when it comes to managing people,
he's not good.
When it comes to be a king, he's not equipped. Well, to be fair, none of them are.
No.
None of them are. But the thing is with Aegon, and we saw this early this season, Aegon did have an eye for the small folk.
He did, yeah.
Aegon did have an eye to help the people.
Yeah.
He just needed to be guided.
Yeah.
You just need to be guided.
Yeah.
Where Aemond is all about, I don't care.
Yeah.
I need to win the war.
Yeah.
Fuck the small folk.
Yeah.
I need to win the war.
Yeah.
But let's move on to another family, the Valarians. Corlys has been dealing with a lot. Obviously, we find out that he has 2 bastard children,
Yep.
Adam and Alan. How have you found Corlys's whole arc this season where, he loses Rhaenys? And Corlys's whole thing has been about family name, the Valarian name.
Yeah.
I literally saw the scene on TikTok. Reminded me of when he literally asked Viserys, "Hey, can the children of Rhaenyra and Laenor keep the name Valarian?" Which is insane.
Very much so. Yeah.
But he's all about the family name, and now, we see him interacting with bastards.
Yeah.
How have you found his whole character arc this season?
I felt very sorry for him with the whole Rhaenys thing. Like losing your wife, you already lost your daughter, you've lost your son. Like you're losing a lot of people. So I have like deep sympathy. I understand.
Yeah.
But I feel like he is losing sight of keeping his family line going. If I was him, but obviously I'm not a man, so I don't know how it's like, and I see 2 kids that are mine, I know there's the embarrassment. Like I would take it in. Like obviously, Rhaenys knew that they existed, and Rhaenys seemed a lot more open to taking them in. The same way we see Catelyn Stark was like horrible to Jon Snow. I feel like Rhaenys would have been actually like, I'll take them in as my own. So
but I guess for what in the beginning, because I think he's known about their existence for a long time. For a long time, but obviously he already had his own kids. And his own kids were Targaryen and Valarian, so like there was no incentive. It sounds fucked, but there's no incentive for him to be like to take these bastards. Where I literally have 2 Valyrian houses together.
Yeah.
But now he's got no kids. It's kind of like, well, because obviously to his knowledge, Laenor's dead.
Yeah.
And is it Baela
and Rhaena, they're his grandchildren.
Yeah. I can't remember his actual daughter's name.
Oh, what was her name? I can't remember,
Yeah, I think it starts with a B. I
Starts with a B.
I know it's not Baela, because Baela.
Yeah.
But yeah, both his children, to his knowledge, are no longer here. So for him, it's just like he wants to now play daddy duties and kind of like bring his kids into the fold.
Yeah.
But the speech that Alan gives, where it's like, I literally had to watch you parade your family.
That's pain. That's pain. That's real pain.
And again, back to the race swapping. The reason why race swapping adds to the story, because you can literally, there's a visual cue, like they're both black,
and they look alike. He has blonde hair. They have to shave every single day because it obviously is going to show that he has that hair color. Yeah,
and it's the scene where obviously Adam has claimed to see smoke, and they have that conversation in Dragonstone, and Corlys is like, "You did good."
Yeah,
it's like. The audacity.
Audacity.
Now you want, especially Adam, now you want to acknowledge Adam because he's got a dragon.
Yeah.
Well, at least with Alan reminds Corlys of Corlys, because obviously Alan has been taught, we've been shown that he's a very good shipmate.
Yeah.
And obviously Corlys's main thing is about sailing the seas and exploring the world.
Yeah.
So that's that fatherly father-son bond.
Yeah.
But Alan resents that because it's like,
why am I so similar to this man that doesn't want to love me? Basically,
right, you know that scene in Fresh Prince? Fresh Prince. Why doesn't he want me? Why doesn't he want me?
Why doesn't he want me, man?
Why doesn't he want me, man?
You can't laugh at a man's pain. That's bad. That's bad.
That's bad, man. Yeah. That is bad. But yeah, I'm trying to think any other. I want to see more of Baela and Rhaena this season. I want to see more of them, because
don't get me started on how they've done Rhaena so dirty this season. I feel like as well, because I read that in the books, when her time when she's in where is she? The Eyrie is actually pleasant. The Vale is a lot more pleasant, and they've like changed it in the books for her to be like really miserable, so it leads us to running away. But she's been away for how many days, and no one's gone to check on her. She's by herself in the wild. She's found this dragon, and we just see them scream at each other, and then it goes.
Yeah, the whole sheep stealer reveal was kind of like especially because it came. Especially because the reason why I wasn't the biggest fan of the sheep stealer reveal is because at least with like Vermithor, Silverwing, all these, we got time.
Yeah.
Well, Silverwing and Vermithor not so. Well, Vermithor did. Silverwing not so much.
Yeah.
But with Sea Smoke, sorry, like,
Yeah.
we got time with these dragons. Like we saw the bond that these lot build, and with Rain, I was like, I see you. Cool.
We see each other. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
At least even with Silverwing, we see him like Silverwing messes around with Ulf. He pushes him down.
Yeah.
Right? We see Silverwing ride Ulf,
Yeah.
and that's why it feels like an episode 8 because I would have loved to see Rhaena
claim it, because she tried to claim another dragon before, it didn't work, so it'd been nice to see her go, okay, this is my time to finally claim my dragon. Also, isn't that dragon supposed to be a lot bigger?
That's what
I heard it's supposed to be the biggest in the world after Vega or whatever.
No,
so
I think Sheep Stealer is supposed to be one of the
biggest. Either way, it looked as small as like Cyrax. It didn't look that big.
Tiny.
Yeah,
like, it's supposed to be like massive.
Yeah.
But yeah, like their Rhaena's storyline, I wasn't really like too enthused by it. Honestly, I'm talking about how much I said I love this season. I love this season mostly because, like I said, because of Team Green. No, because I
can't believe that's the reason why you like the season. Team Green.
Don't lie. Most of the drama has been happening. Forget morality. If you talk about most entertainment, where does it come from?
You know you're not wrong. Every scene in Dragonstone, apart from Eric and Arik, where they killed each other, there hasn't been that much drama. Oh, and Claiming the Dragons.
Yes.
There hasn't been any drama.
Most of the entertainment, forget who we like.
Team Green.
It's Team Green.
Oh dear.
They carried this season.
How am I gonna say I'm a Team Black enthusiast if Team Green is where I'm getting all the fun from? It's not good. That's not good.
And that's why I want more from Team Black. And that's why the J stuff is interesting to me. Because I'm like, but that's what I needed more this season. I just needed more. Just more of, because I can't lie, Rhaenyra, lock in. Lock in.
Lock in.
Lock in.
Lock in, please.
Because it's like, it's enough. Blood has broke. Lucer, your son is dead.
Yeah.
Blood, like, when you think about, especially what happened in episode, I think 2 with Blood and Cheese, where obviously Alicent lost her grandson and Helena lost her son.
Yeah.
Head should be hot. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Head should be Dragonstone and King's Landing should be in absolute chaos. And we see the chaos in King's Landing.
Yeah.
Dragonstone, where's the chaos? Obviously, Daemon's gone off.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like we got like inter-family turmoil until later on in the season. It was always just like, hey,
hey babe.
I don't want sickles, bloodshed. We want to end this war swift. Lucerys is dead. Lock in.
I feel like they should have locked in. I would have preferred if season 2 the whole thing was just straight war and it's just an account of how like they're all suffering and trying to like navigate their way through that.
I don't mind that battle didn't happen.
I mind.
I don't mind that, because I think if you think about it, even in Game of Thrones, like, we didn't get like later seasons we got bare battles. But if you think about season 1, there was no battle. Season 2 was like, okay, Blackwater. There wasn't major battles, but it didn't feel like Rhaenyra was preparing for war. It just felt like, I'm trying to avoid, because even she said, I want Aemon Targaryen's head. Episode 1, I want his head.
Yeah.
What plans did she make to take his head?
Even that, after the failed Blood and Cheese, it just kind of stopped there and there was no mention of I want Aemon's head anymore. It was just like, okay, the plan failed, so let's just move on to something else.
Yeah, it's just like, Aemon killed your son.
Yeah.
Like, there should be mention of, I'm not saying Rhaenyra should be a war criminal. That's not what I'm advocating for. But I think in Team Black, there was no progression towards, how can we justly end the war? How can we get these? It took. That's why at least the episode where they got Vermithor, they got the dragons. I was like, finally,
something
action,
is happening. Yeah,
action. Like it's not action that led to a war, but she took a step forward where it felt like the only people who are trying to progress the story forward are Team Green. They're interesting. You might not like them. They're the Lannisters.
They're the Lannisters.
But at least, and the difference is, because obviously, like, you can Team Hightowers, Lannisters, Team Black, Starks, cool.
Yeah.
Rob was marching in season 2.
He was marching in season 2.
Rob was marching.
He was marching.
Like, there was back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, even though there wasn't any major battles, you could see Rob trying to negotiate with the Freys. You could see things were happening.
Yeah.
And with Team Black, only towards the second half of the season were things happening.
You're so right. They need to lock in.
Lock in!
They need to lock in.
Lock in, man.
They need to lock in.
But overall, man, what were your thoughts on season 2 as a whole? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate season 2 of House of the Dragon?
I would probably give it a 5. I don't think I'd go past 5. That's really harsh, innit? But I don't think I'd go past 5, you know? Because the things that were good, but the things I didn't like brought the score all the way down.
5?
5. I'm sorry. 5.
That's hard.
What would you give it?
I was like a 7.5 or an 8.
That's high.
Okay, no,
That's high.
8's high. I said, do you know what it is? Because no, the highs of the season were high.
Yeah.
The battle, bro, Rhaenys's death.
That was
beautiful.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
The scenes between Aemond and Aegon. But I feel like Aemond as a character, every time I saw, he's my favorite character. But every time I saw him on screen, stuff was moving.
Yeah.
But even like the stuff between the scheming between Larys, how Larys is trying to manipulate Aegon, like all of that stuff, and then obviously like the dragon claiming of like verbal for itself. So the highs of this season are some of the highest I've seen.
Yeah,
I think the highest of this season outweigh the highest of season 1 easily.
Yeah,
but I thought season 1 was a more cohesive season.
Yeah.
So for me, that's why I give it like a 7, where it's like, for me, some of my favorite moments of House of Dragon will probably come from this season.
Fine.
But overall, but I am excited for season 3.
Yeah.
I was spoiled on the books a little bit because people on TikTok have no discernment.
Filter and they have no manners.
They have no manners.
No.
But what they've set up, I am excited. It's just, I just wish this season was wrapped up properly. I agree. I can't give this season anywhere near an 8 because this season. Well, you get
7.5. 7.5, not almost 8.
Okay, I can't give season a solid 8.
Good.
Because it's not finished.
Yeah.
It's incomplete.
It's
like there's a part. You know, you're writing a dissertation. Where's the conclusion?
Yeah. Where are your references?
Where's the conclusion?
Mm-mm.
But yeah, Shekinah, man. It's been a pleasure having you on. We definitely got to do this again.
100%.
Tell the people where they can find you at your socials, what you got going on.
I've never rehearsed this. I don't even know what my act is. I'm looking at it right now. You can put it there. You'll do it. You'll put it there. I don't know what it is.
I'll put it in the description.
There you go. Put it in the description because I can't remember what it is. But yeah, thank you for having me.
No worries. It's been a pleasure, man. We definitely, I'm gonna get you back on a Marvel,
100%, 100%.
Definitely. But yeah, man, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Help us get to 10K on TikTok, please. But yeah, man, be active in the comment sections, interact with us, let us know your thoughts and opinions. But yeah, this is NK signing out. We'll catch you next time on the Rare Podcast. Peace.
Bye.